So in Villahermosa, there's either two things. It's either really, really hot or it's regular hot. So in Villahermosa, it's usually, high 90s, hundreds, and especially in the summer, it get up to 110, and it's super humid. So you'll get days where it's literally you're sweating the whole day, and even at night, it's still ridiculously hot. On the flip side, it also does rain like crazy. So when it rains, it pours. And so it kind of comes out of nowhere. You'll be sitting there and then, we'll be walking along and then you just hear one thing of thunder and then it starts pouring. And so it's definitely advisable. Make sure to take good rain gear when you're down there. A good umbrella, stuff like that. And it will save you a long time, and do anything you can to get shoes that are waterproof because you'll definitely need them. But yeah, biggest thing is just know that it can get really, really hot sometimes. So I have like sweat rag, stuff like that, sunscreen, and also know that it can rain like crazy. But you really don't have to worry about cold. It's really never cold there. The medicine that I used pretty much was just ibuprofen and Pepto-Bismol. That pretty much covers everything you need. But every so often, if you want to take stuff like to cover calluses or anything in your feet, like any of that moleskin stuff. And packing wise, you don't want to take anything wintry, really. Anything you need, you can get there. So don't bother bringing any like coats or anything like that. And you don't need an extra suit. Some missionaries do get it, but I just say it takes up extra space. I end up giving mine away. So one suit's really all you'll need because you only use it to go to church and then for conferences and stuff like that. So don't do that. And then make sure to take a lot of short sleeve shirts. If as long as you have sunscreen, you won't get sunburnt too bad. And you'll really be grateful you have them, because if you have all those long sleeves, you'll be dying. And they really don't want you to roll up your sleeves too much. They like the look of short sleeves better. So just kind of stick to those and you should be fine. I think the biggest thing that I learned in my mission is to really care about other people. It was the only time in my life that I actually pretty much all my thoughts were focused in on helping other people. When you go to a general conference, when you go to zone conferences, you're always thinking about your investigators. So it's cool to learn that, to take time to care about other people and truly think about other people and see how you can serve them. And to also remember that, even though it's a different culture, there are different types of people, that you'll find amazing people no matter where you are in the world. You'll find some of the most dedicated saints and people that truly love the gospel and want to be part of the work. And so never judge people by how they look. One of my last converts was a trucker, big beard, stuff like that, and he ended up being one of the nicest, sweetest guys, and had a really amazing family. So just really love people and get to know them, and you'll find some amazing people no matter where you go. How to sleep in a hammock. I'd never done that before, and I remember my first house I walked in and there was a hammock sitting there, and I'd laid in them before, but I never learned how to sleep in them. And my last area, I actually spent the most time sleeping in them, and so you kind of have to sit in there and you have to go kind of horizontal, and so that was kind of a skill, is how to sleep in a hammock and not get back damage. There's these things called trompos, which are little tops. So you kind of have to throw those and they spin, and you can kind of battle each other. We had to learn how to do that. There are different toys that are down there. There's ball in a cup that you kind of had to throw up and catch. And there's sticks you kind of threw up and you had to catch them in little holes. They were kind of just little random toys that you get good at as a missionary, because you kind of have them lying around your house, so you just practice every once in a while. And yeah, then apart from that, pretty much, just how to survive, how to know when you should eat something and not eat something, and realize how to eat properly and pretty much just eat everything with your hands. It was kind of a new life skill I had to learn, but it's cool. Some of the hardest experiences you'll ever find is you'll have people that seem like they're 100% willing to go and be part of the church, and then they just don't show up. And they'll seem so excited, especially when they're younger kids. They'll go and then their parents won't let them go, or they're a young couple that's not married and they just won't get married, so they can't progress. And those things are so frustrating as a missionary, because you want to help them all, you want to help them progress, and then they just, for one reason or another, won't do it. And so what I learned from it is, you got to look for people that are really interested in the work and want to progress, and they will do whatever it takes to progress, and to love people even when they aren't progressing, but to try to balance your time so that you're not spending all the time on people that won't continue in the gospel. That was one thing that was really hard to learn, because you all want to help everyone and you go to love some people, but just make sure to find the people that are really prepared and help them. I never felt like I was unsafe, but there were a couple times. One time me and my companion brought a new missionary, and he went to go work with us one day, and we saw a couple guys just beat up one guy in the middle of the street. That happened a couple times where you'd see people beating up each other, and it was just all new for me because I'd never seen that. And especially it was broad daylight. I saw one woman get robbed, but generally, as long as you stay in good places, you'll be perfectly fine. But just remember that there are people out there, and there's people that can hurt you. So just make sure you're in right places and don't carry money around and stuff like that. But yeah, I never got robbed or anything. But just keep your mind and your eyes open so that you can kind of avoid potential dangers and stuff like that. My last area, I was actually training. And me and my companion, we got to this area and we both whitewashed it, so we had no idea. We didn't know the area at all. And we heard about this family. They were progressing, but the mom and dad weren't married. And so actually we were teaching them, and everything was going great. And they did have a couple setbacks, but it was my second to last week in my mission. And the husband and wife actually got married. And them and their 2 kids got baptized all on the same day. And so it was super cool to see someone commit to changing their life, even though the rest of the wife's family wasn't members, to see how they were able to change and be better. And their kids and everything like that was just such a neat experience. And you'll see that there's so many people out there that are just prepared, and you just got to push them and help them along, and you'll see how their lives really do change. And people that have never even thought about joining the church or having better lives, all of a sudden you see how much they can improve and grow. So there's people like that all over the place. Just keep your eyes open. There's going to be people there's drunk guys all over the place. And not all over the place, but there's quite a bit. Because you can drink out on the street there. And so you have people come up to you and they want to talk to you. And when they go up to you and they want to talk to you and stuff like that, just kind of hear them out, but talk to them for just a second, but kind of leave as fast as you can, because they're drunk and they're not really going to remember. And it's not worth spending time and sitting there trying to argue with them or whatever, even if they do say anything mean to you. So just realize that they're not going to hurt you. And so just kind of walk past them as fast as you can and you'll be fine. The other thing is, in Mexico, especially where I was at, when girls were interested in you, they'd go tss, tss, or something like that. And so my first area, I had no idea, and so I was walking by and I heard that, and I just said to my companion, I was like, "Oh, let's go teach him," and he goes, "Oh yeah, you don't want to do that. She's not interested in the gospel." And so remember that, kind of pick up on the culture, ask your companion when you first get there what kind of noises and cues and stuff like that they do, and just so you kind of avoid getting in situations where you look dumb. So just kind of keep your eyes open and learn the culture as fast as you can. So.